All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone who is watching online at Facebook and on YouTube. You're welcome to Bouncing Back from Domestic Abuse. This is an event brought to you by Time to Heal. Time to Heal is a registered charity here in Scotland. We operate from Aberdeen. The founder and the manager of Time to Heal, Reverend Abiola Kron, has graciously agreed to share her life experience to us help people bounce back from domestic abuse. This is part of the services they organize this month of domestic abuse awareness. So it's our pleasure once more. Thank you very much, Ma, for agreeing to share very personal experiences concerning your life and how to help people as well. Um, questions will be taken. If you have comments, feel free to put them on the chat button. We'll be keeping an eye on them and we'll respond to them very well. Please feel free to comment, but keep your comments very respectfully. Without further ado, I want to welcome Reverend Abiola Crown to continue to share her experience. Last week, we discussed an aspect of her life, how she was told to go back to the marriage that she experienced domestic abuse and how she also responded to them. So we want to continue from this week and see how we can also wrap up in a very neat way. So please make welcome Reverend Abila Crown as she continues with the discussion today. Over to you, Ma.
Thank you very much, Lawson. I hope your evening or your day had been good. I had a today is just one
It
of
has been
those days
wonderful.
you don't want to forget. No, it's one of those days. I had a very good day today. And also today, the story I'm telling this evening is also the kind of story that sends you to bed, with joy and excitement. Because in life, there are some times you feel as if God has forgotten you. And that's the life that somebody who lives with domestic abuse actually, you wonder, you pray, pray, pray. I was telling a group of people in the workshop we had today about this, that's asking about what effect it has on somebody's faith. When you pray, 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 and the thing is still continues, it's like, does God really care? But there also comes one this time when God, after he had been silent, he just decides to make you his own time, make it your time now when it becomes your turn, like a slogan that is going on somewhere in Africa now. It's just your turn. So, last week I told you about how my mother returned me back. And that story, it was not that as easy as it was told. That took a lot of courage and it came with its pain. And well, the dog was just there. And the truth is that when I went back, none of these three principal people in my life were there with me. And life became a story is for another time. It didn't improve, actually. That 1 year it was worse than the cumulative sum of all the years. And I'm saying this with every emphasis at my command. Anyway, the opportunity came, even though I didn't plan to. Um, and when eventually the opportunity came, I don't want to tell the story of what happened because of our time. Because today I want to major on how help came. That is my excitement for today because it's been a very good day for me and I just want to end the day with this kind of a joy. So when the time came and I had to leave, I told the children, well, and by the time I told the children that the children said they want to live with me, I said, no, you can't live with me because even now, I don't know where I was going. Because at that time, actually, my husband's PA was instructed to lock us out. And I said, look, you are the PA to my husband. You are not the PA to my house. Well, it wouldn't work. I look at him as if I should also use the power that was in my hand. And I told him, I said, look, if I decide to deal with you the way I would like to deal with you, your master will come back from wherever he is to come and bail you out of my hands. I said, but the anger of man does not work the righteousness of God. And I allow him to lock us out. Well, what happened after then is not part of today's story. So when I decided we were going, the first help I received, somebody helped us somewhere along the road. I'm going to let you know. But you cannot, there is nobody that can do a successful escape without the help. And the help must be from within. First within, and then on the way, all along the way. It was the help all along the way I didn't get that returned me back that time. So this time, when I was going to go, when I was coming back to get the children, because I heard they were traveling with some people I don't know, I met a lady inside the bus. It's another story. This lady was going to meet her husband, who she believed was went to after another lady, all the way from Lagos. She was in this vehicle. I didn't ask her anything. That's why I said, when help wants to come, it just came. But we were sitting together, and she was telling me her story. She said, right as I'm sitting right now, I have cutlass with me. She was holding a cutlass with her. Now she will go, I'm going to cut that man's head today. It's good, it's funny today, but it was not funny that day. Because we were in a nice bus. I have to tell her, I said, keep quiet. Don't let anybody know that you have a cutlass with you. They will arrest you here. So by the grace of God, I forgot my own pain, and I began to speak to her. And I told her, no man is worth all this thing you are doing. Please don't fight him when you get there. Just allow him, whatever. So that was the family that became my refuge when I escaped at that time. Because this time I didn't let my mother know, or none of my family knew. My elder brother in Lagos, I didn't tell him. I didn't tell anybody. The only person that had an idea, because I didn't know what to do, I didn't even ask for their opinion. I just said, please, sir, I want to have a word with you. And I said, these things I want to do is an announcement. I'm so sorry, my mind is made, and I want to be personally responsible for my decision. That is why I don't want anybody to be a part of it. And I took that decision. I went to keep those children with that same lady. The lady is a Muslim lady. I met her for the first time in the bus, and I just went very, very far, one bush like this. I'm sure I wouldn't try that this time in Nigeria with all the kidnappings. But thank God that was a safe time in Nigeria. So that was how I left, and I went back to Nairobi. I didn't have money to go because I had only tickets for myself. Then again, my friend who used to, I told my friend, I'll leave this, I don't know what to do now. I said, oh, should I leave the children, then go, and then I'll come back to take them? My friend said, no, we won't leave them. We all go together. And that was how my friend gave me the tickets. She was a travel agent, did all the tickets for 3 of us. And now, what will I do to go? Because I wanted to travel by one way. And I don't know. Then I went to the embassy. So you can see that things can happen sometimes. I told the embassy that they should please write for me so that the airline can help me to go, can allow me to travel with one way. And I remember the lady at the embassy said, we don't do this. We've never done it for anyone, but we shall do it for you. Again, the embassy gave me an authority, a letter to back up my trip in such a way that I was able to travel with one-way tickets back to Nairobi. When I got to Nairobi, you can see how heaven really came down. Help, help, help. I got to Nairobi immediately. I called my friend who is a lawyer. I said, I'm back to Nairobi, but have landed in the hand of God. And when it comes to man, I'm in your hands. My lawyer said, what's happening? Let's go for a cup of tea tomorrow morning. So we went for a cup of tea. I told her my story. She said, so what do you want to do? I said, there is nothing else I want to do in my life than to serve the living God. That's all I am for, and that's all I want. She said, okay, I will take you to somewhere. And she took me to travel to Kisumu, very, very far from Nairobi. And I don't know, it will be like Lawson, like if you are going to Edinburgh from Aberdeen. Yes. Oh, no, it's more than that. Sorry. Maybe like if you are going to Coventry, some 6 hours drive to Nairobi. Yes. Then to Aberdeen. So that's how far it is.
That's quite a distance.
It was. So we went. When we met this man of God, another help. This man had never met me before. I spent only 30 minutes with him. And he said, we don't do this for everyone, but we're going to do this for you. Give me your credentials, we'll employ you, we'll give you documents. And I gave him all my credentials, and they took me in as a trainer in their church, and he sent this all to the home office, their own home office, immigration, to obtain a permit for me to be able to stay in Nairobi with as a resident. And he made a statement. He said, just take all this, that I don't know you, but I believe that the hand of God is upon you. And take all the documents. If anybody asks us questions, we're happy to answer it on your behalf. Up to today, I call him Baba Kisumu. And in fact, one of his sons live here in UK. I used to say, he calls me sis, I call him my brother, because we live together. I mean, that was how help came. Because in Nairobi, even those who know you will not give you paper. It's just like you asking for sponsor's license, Lawson. You know what I'm talking about. No, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. It's not something you give to somebody you don't know. But this, he gave me, and another thing that happened, because God will always come through for you. I want to go through this detail for you to know God will always come through for you, whoever is listening to me today. After giving me that paper and I submitted my documents, I took the children paper to the immigration. The first thing that happened when I was leaving, I called one of my friend and my sister, and my friend, whatever. I said, I'm coming to Nairobi. Please, can you get me a servant's quarters so that I can stay? She said, servant's quarters. How can a whole Mrs. Crown stay? So when she came, she said, well, what's going on? The servant's quarters, you can't stay in servant's quarters. She prepared a house, prepared a room for me in her home, and prepared another one for the children. And this lady put the children in the school. Just like that. So when we got to the immigration, I needed some documents for the children. And you know, they will only be given residence permits based on my own, because they were still minors and were dependents. Myself, I didn't have a paper to stay yet. But I was very surprised. The very moment I got to the immigration, I submitted their documents and whatever. Under about 1 hour, they have processed for these children their documents. And 1 week was too much before they came for ask us for a pickup. They had their paper before myself, I had one. And when it came to mine, that was the time they were deporting people from Nairobi. One day, I was just there like that, because immediately I finished all those, I put myself under an ICU, intensive care unit, spiritual one. I went into 21 days of prayers and fasting, began to pray, I began to fast, I began to listen to tape. That was all I was doing, just praying. I don't know what the future holds, but God, I'm just in your hands. One of those afternoon, my phone just rang. A lady I don't know just called me, said, are you Abiola? I said, yes. I have your documents with me here. And now from the home office, from immigration. Wow. That's this application, if it goes beyond here, they will not approve it, because There are some places you have left blank, and you have filled some places now they're not correct. Please, do you have some time to come to see me tomorrow? I said, listen, hear me. Please, do you have some time? I said, what am I doing? I said, oh, can I come now? She said, no, not tomorrow. So, lastly, you can know how fast and how long it takes between night and morning that day. Immediately the following morning, I ran to the immigration office and I met her, and she took everything. She told me what to remove, and she filled the form. She said, okay, go. I said, okay. So a few weeks later, she called me. She said, my paper had been approved. And I ran there. I said, okay, so when will I come to pick it? She said, no, you can't pick now. It has to travel the same way it traveled. It takes 2 weeks to go, like another 2 weeks or 2 months. Anyway, whatever time. She said, I just took interest. And I asked her, I mean, what happened? How did you get to? She said, no, I just saw your file and I took interest in your case. And so I began to follow the file to see what happens to it. And so that is, and I knew they were going to hold meeting today. And I was very, very curious. So as soon as they finished, I went to check the file. What happened to this lady's case? Did they approve? And she said they have approved. I tell you, whoever you are listening to me, angels still work. God still works for people. That's to me up to today. Each time I remember that story, I mean, it's like when I remember the things God has done for me, I'm not afraid of what is coming tomorrow. So anyway, that was how all my immigration status was sorted out. Oh, everybody that time is like, when did she come? That she has got this paper. Did we that we have been here? We didn't get it. How much did she pay? Is it not somebody who has money that will even pay? And I know I will not even pay. I was not going to pay anybody. And so that was how I became a friend with that lady, and God settled me in Nairobi. I mean, I was very, very settled. I mean, confidently settled. All my documents were correct. Myself today, I have documents that can also bring people into Nairobi today by the grace of God. So, and lastly, before I will end this story, so when I got all my papers ready now, and I finished all my fasting, I said, now that I have paper, I can go in and come back. Now it's time to go home and show everybody where I am. So I went round to see my spiritual leader, to see my mother, to see my friend, those 3 people. Went to see everyone. But do you know one thing? Everybody I met, I don't know whether somebody told them story or whatever, it was blessing I received from their mouth. Especially my mom. When I got back home and I went, I said, my mom said, you know what my mom told me? My mom said, God will take care of your children with you. I said, hey, so they're not my children. How things can change? Somebody that said, go and bring the children for the owner of the children. Now she said, God will take care of your children. Just go. God will be with you. She began to bless me and bless me. She said, you see the way I am, as the Lord has kept me, and I'm enjoying the fruit of my labor, and my children are blessing. That is how God will preserve you. Your children will take care of you. And since that time, it's your children. And up till she died, my mother was very, very supportive. Very supportive. Very, very supportive in every way. Even if nobody, the same mother now that told them that they should leave me alone, she was the one now that was telling my brothers, please support Nikki. I want you to please take care of her. Support her. She's the only one woman taking this dynamic. So I can say that things do change. I didn't expect it, but God came. He came through for me. I know it's going to come true for any of you, whatever it is. Weeping do last. It can always last, but joy will always come in the morning. Well, that is the story for today. Lawson with his question. I know.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. Thank you very much, Ma, for sharing those very personal experiences. I think besides all the point that you mentioned Nairobi, that you can take people to Nairobi. I hope one day you take us there to go
Oh, we
and see
should
the
go
experience
tomorrow
in
if I'm
Nairobi.
ready.
But yeah, so it seems like you had a lot of experience. It's been a journey from Nigeria to Nairobi, from Nairobi down to the United Kingdom, and I'm sure that it must have been very overwhelming as well and challenging. It sounds like just 1 or 2 days. Those are months and years, and you have come out stronger. You bounced back, stronger and better. In fact, title for this event today is right that heaven came down. Indeed, heaven came down. I'm just wondering, throughout those periods, were you communicating with any other people apart from your close family members? Were there external support, communication that you mentioned? You're communicating with the spiritual fathers. Who were the other elements or factors that helped you to cope through that period to the moment?
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Um, like I told you, I ran away from everybody. But when I came back home, I went to see my spiritual leaders, and I also went to see my fathers in the faith. I want to be very, I don't want to mention names of people who stood with me at this time so that people will not misunderstand them and their intention. There are some
That's right.
things you don't share in the public, but without the close contact, then the wisdom at every stage, they have taught me what to do. And it's not even what to do that was really the problem, the real thing. I hope I'm going to get to that maybe next week or whatever, anytime. The kind of boundaries they set for me is the reason why I can probably have a voice today. Because it's not a life without its own challenge. But by the grace of God, with the tutelage, mentorship, and the instruction, much more instructions of my spiritual fathers, by the grace of God, men run, we fly by instruction. The men fly by instruction. Instruction is what has helped me till today. Some of them are not pleasant. I do, but each time the answer is no. I just say yes, sir. And I want to add this to it before you go, especially with the thing turned around for me with my mom and everyone. Okay, you can see where she was going. But if maybe at that time when she told me, come, I refused. I believe the Lord also honored my obedience and the honor I gave her. That was a very expensive one, though, but all the same. Well, I honored all the people that needed to be honored. Only myself, I did not, I disrespected myself. But God knew the sincerity of my heart. And it came true for me. Every one of them, I mean everyone that said no that time. My friend, my mom, and my spiritual mom, they were amazingly very, very there for me when the final escape came up. Although my friend never gave up, she still feel this thing, she just couldn't pass from it. Well, and I understand with her, it's okay. But those mothers, for once, they know this woman needs to be supported. And they gave me all the help that I need. And my spiritual fathers, I don't know where I would have been, especially as a minister of the gospel. It's hard for a woman if you are single. There are some instructions I didn't get until just a few months ago. I got some go ahead to do a few other things. So I've always waited. I'll wait. And when they say yes, I'll say I go. When they say no, oh, it's just no. But it has helped me.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Ma, for that response. I think that's very, very important to know that you had support and counsel. I think the Bible also said it in Proverbs 11 that where there is no counsel, the people fail and fall. I think it's very important that when we are in such situation, that we don't isolate ourselves, like you said, that there is always help. People should speak out, and God always intervenes, and we can see that clearly in your life. Thank you very much for sharing those very intimate experiences of how you bounced back from your experience and then become a better person and a mentor and an inspiration to many other people, many women, not just women, and to many men as well around the world. Pray that the Lord will continue to strengthen you and increase your impact in Jesus' name. Amen. Um, um, I'm looking at the chat button. I don't think anyone has questions at the moment, but that shouldn't deter us. If you have any questions much later after this program is closed for the day, please get in touch with Time to Heal. Get in touch with Reverend Abiola Crown. She's very much happy and willing to help and provide information from time to time. So don't feel restricted at all. And if you're watching this stream much later, Time to Heal's website is there. You can get in touch through the website. The emails are on the website. We also have a Facebook account, Instagram account as well. You can reach us through those media, and we'll be able to respond anytime. So, just to wrap up, do you have any final words to give to anyone listening and to anyone who will be listening later as we close the event for today?
Actually, my take home word for you today is that God will come true for you. It will always come true for you. It will not always end as a night. There will always be the breaking of the day. Because when it's night, those times I can't tell you. It wasn't the stories I'm telling. They are not that as sweet as they sound today. But see me today. I'm such a happy woman. I'm so happy. This morning I wrote something. I woke up with a thought and I just posted it. I said, I'm too awake to sleep the sleep of death, and I'm too busy to die. The only thing I'm doing now is dancing. It's dancing everywhere, inside my spirit everywhere. So please hold on. It will come true for you. You are not going to die inside there. But don't forget, please also don't keep quiet. I pray the Lord will give you the spirit of discernment. You will know when to say yes and when to say no. And then also you will know who to speak to and who not to speak to. Sometimes we speak to wrong people, and they can be very destructive when we speak to wrong people. But I also pray you will know the people that you need to. There are some people, no matter what they say, they are just the people. One of my spiritual father, I ran for him for 5 years. And when I was going to see him, in fact, I was just praying and fast. I went to pray and fast. I'm telling you the truth. Listen, I have to fast for when they said, now that I have to see him, I said, God, please don't ever let him tell me what I don't want to hear. Because I know that day it was a day of decision. If this man tell me, go back, I can be crying, whatever I'm doing, I have to go back. And I know where I was going was not heaven. And I didn't want to go back to hell. So God will come true for you. That is my message tonight. Just know. And I pray that somebody under my voice, even your own breaking of the day is now. You will enjoy, you will experience it. Yours may not be domestic abuse, but whatever has been so long, disturbing you. The turnaround was so sweet. I was like a dreamer. So it will happen to you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Amen.
If you've not subscribed, and please share this story if you enjoy what you are hearing or you are being blessed, and God will bless every one of us.
Amen. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. That's a very, very neat way to wrap up today. Remember to weekend at 7 p.m. Like she said, please subscribe to the channel, share the link with your friends, and invite friends and colleagues you think this event may be beneficial to. Please invite them, and we will be happy to help as much as possible. Until we see next weekend, have a wonderful evening and stay safe. Goodbye for now.
Thank you very much, Lucy.
Thank you, ma'am.